Hey everybody, Dave Raw, D-Dog for Dynamic Rainmakers. Thursday night, doing my veterinarian medicine runs, and it's still windy. The last several nights have been really windy. It's kind of hard driving. But be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I really would appreciate it if you guys would do that. Okay, last night was a really bad accident here at this intersection I'm coming up to. It put me back, oh man, 45 minutes. It was really bad. So that's something you got to deal with too when you're doing this stuff, is really bad accidents, and try to plan ways around it. I did have an alternate way to go, but as soon as I got around the area that was bad, they got it all cleared out. I didn't realize they were just getting ready to pull it out and stuff. So, well, that's the way it goes. So let's go back to the basics on this whole thing. I started out doing this stuff when I got laid off last year during the COVID stuff, and even though I was getting unemployment, that wasn't enough. I mean, I had to keep myself busy other than looking for work. So I started looking for things to do, and I came across this idea of doing courier work. And what I did is I just went out to Facebook jobs, because I was looking for work anyway and other things, and put in couriers, independent couriers, driver jobs, and got it set up just for my area. And I got a hit. A group contacted me. They wanted me to come in, meet with them. First they said, well, these are the steps you need to do to get in with us. You need to establish some type of a business structure. Well, I already had one. It's an LLC, Dynamic Rainmakers LLC. You need to have a EIN number, which is like a social security number, but it's for your business. And they wanted you to have a business banking account, which I did. Actually, I'm using eBank. I use Novo. That works pretty good. And then there's the basic insurance coverage you have for your vehicles. 300, 100, 100 coverage. And I had that. So they said, yeah, sure, come in. You can talk to us, and we'll let you know what's going on. And yeah, they brought me on. It started out with me using primarily my own vehicle, which is expected. And it was hauling the COVID samples, COVID vaccines, and the samples were mainly in the Colorado Springs area. But once I started doing COVID vaccines, I was going all over the state. They let me use some of their vans occasionally, but mainly just my Jeep. They pay for all that stuff. And I was doing that for quite a while, and then they saw I was reliable, because that's one of the things, you gotta be reliable, is that they started giving me light freight runs. And light freight runs are things like paint, commercial paint, tires, automotive and truck parts, computer parts, you name it. They're not really heavy and stuff. There's just a small quantity of them, but they need them there right away. That was good. So I was going all over the state doing that. I got what they call a TSA clearance, and that allows you to actually go into the air cargo terminal areas to drop off and pick up air cargo packages, whatever they would be. They're usually small, and do that type of stuff. Now that's something to get under your belt, as a TSA clearance. Along with the TSA clearance, they also helped me get a series of medical certifications for doing this type of work. Some places will actually have you do that. And that's good because it starts giving you certifications to do this work. They were, I think, around $30 or something like that to get all of it. Because it's online training, you take classes, you do tests, but it's pretty straightforward. So I was doing that for a while, and then while I was doing that, I was still looking for a regular job, and I did end up getting a 9-to-5 job eventually. But before that, I actually got a part-time gig with a company doing all sorts of medical stuff, records, drugs, samples, and it was on a military bases. It was between the different military bases. So that was interesting doing that. I did that 2 days a week, and the rest of the week was open. And so I just kept doing both of those things, and eventually I did up, like I said, I got a 9-to-5, and with that, that's when things started kind of changing my timing. And right now, this particular run I'm doing, it's in the evening. It's between, of course, after my job. I come here and do this, and it's good. This is only like 3.5 hours a night, but it brings in a pretty good amount. Instead of human samples, it's just veterinarian samples. It's basically the same thing, except there's no COVID, of course. So I'm hauling things like blood samples, urine samples, tissue samples, organ samples. These are not things that are being transplanted to other animals. These are just samples. Some pretty interesting things on that. So it's a whole wide variety of things, and it's really simple work. The best thing is you can do on this is be prompt as you can. If something goes weird, just call the place you're going to next. Let them know what's holding you up, and they're usually fine with that because they understand traffic gets bad and stuff. So it's really easy to get into. Simple equipment, a couple of coolers for hauling the samples. I have a small one I actually take up to the place to get the samples, and I have a larger one in the back that I put all the samples in as I pick them up. A little tally counter if you want to do that. I also do a written count of everything I get because it's important to keep good track of this stuff. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Go to the places, pick it up, go on the next, pick it up, and then take everything to a central point, and then that's the end of your night. Same thing every night on a route. When you're doing on-call, it's different. You get dispatched to various places, and if the dispatch team is good, they keep track of you and know where you're at any given time, and you also know when you're done picking up or dropping off, and they try to give you more runs in that area that you're in. So if I'm going to Denver, for example, from here, I let them know I'm done with my run, and they usually have something in the Denver area, and I go from Denver to, say, I don't know, Longmont, Greeley, wherever. Some of my runs have been really long runs, like between here and to Pueblo, and then to Gunnison, places that are Durango, places that are kind of far. So, you can end up doing that, which is okay. Like the run that's between here and Durango is about a total of 12 hours, and you get paid really good for that. So it's not an issue. It's just a time of driving, because a 12-hour day of driving can be a lot. If you don't mind driving, great. You go up in the mountains, enjoy the mountains, and things like that will be going on. So that's just some basics. I'm going to be going over more stuff in detail. I just kind of wanted to do a little review in all these little videos I've been doing, and eventually do a longer video that's covers more in detail what this is about. It's simple, really. It is simple, and it doesn't cost much. You can just use any vehicle, even a car, for doing this type of stuff. I'm using my Jeep. You don't need to have an expensive van to do the medical courier stuff. If you have one, that's fine too, because you got to carry. It depends on your areas and things like that, and what the companies move. So we'll get into more detail, and stay tuned. So keep rolling and keep smiling. Talk to you later. Bye.